Hi. Hi, gamers. How are the besties? I just woke up from a nappy. I'm so tired. Hello, hi. How are the gamers? How's the gecko? It could be better, but such is life. How we holding up? I'm alright. I don't know. I've been really stressed out lately, and like.
Welcome to membership, bestie.
Welcome to membership, bestie. I didn't get the amnesia sleep. No, I wish. I fucking wish. I peak. Yeah, I've been really stressed out lately, so I logged off Twitter and like Discord for like not even 12 hours, maybe even like 6. And like before stream, I checked again just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Cause like I guess spoilers. I'm working on a sponsorship right now. So I had to check Discord, and I got slammed with like 40 messages, and I'm like, ah! No!
Dude, why are you being a simp?
What?
Paying my bestie tax. Red heart emoji.
First off, Fishin, thank you for the gifted subs on Twitch. If you got one, be sure to say thank you. And fuck you, Mac. Don't give me $100. You bitch. Put in card sleeves on. I want to use my sweeper to celebrate in third in Luna Light region.
I just wanted to use
Holy
the sweeper to
shit!
celebrate getting third with Luna Light at a regionals on Sunday.
Holy shit, that's crazy. Which regionals? That's awesome. Congratulations. If you're willing to say which one. Hope you guys better and buy your horse daughter's love. I know. I want my daughter to love me. She leaves soon. I want a baby turtle. Congratulations. That's crazy. Actually, I know a shop near me does Beyblade locals. I didn't even think that was a thing until my friend was talking about it. So we're talking about plus more money for Teo. True, Teo does need my money. Teo does need my money. She needs it. I need her to come home. Evo's doing a Beyblade tournament? What the fuck? And I know, are they doing Melty for Evo this year? No, right? Oh, Beyblade, I don't know where to play Danger and Dragoon though. Rest in peace, brother. If it makes you feel better, I think I knocked out every mouse player from reaching top 8. That's based. No, that's based. Oh, it's got a 3-star spark on power for Ogudi Cap if you need a parent for Teo. I probably do. She won't come out home. McQueen needs to get out of my fucking pool so Tay can come home. Bro, me! I have a 4-star Major McQueen. She refused to come home. She hates me. She literally hates me. How are you doing? Good. How are you? But yeah, she literally hates me. I don't know what I have to do. I don't know what I have to do, man. There won't be another multi-game as a non-side event until we get the Tsukihime remake. Fuck! Nasu, stop writing FGO! I need Tsukihime now! I spent too much to get MLB Kitsu and Blood. Thank God for the gacha budget. Real. No multi on main stage,
Welcome
but we're
to
getting
membership, bestie.
UNIT? What is that? Under night? Time for more streams. Welcome back to membership, gamer. Thank you. Trying to get nice Bark Rudolph at the moment. The server thinking want to suffer when I get a long connect. Dude, that's the fucking worst. It's the worst when the connect is like really long. Also, have a good Nini, gamer. Love you. Have you used the gacha budget, right? No, I use it for Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah, I use the gacha budget on Yu-Gi-Oh. Actually, I don't know if I even got a gacha budget this month. Who knows? My gacha budget is not like large like the others.
Welcome to
I think it's like
membership,
$30. So like, at this point, it's like nothing. Like you don't even notice that I'm using a gacha budget. Cause it's like, okay, well, I'll just gacha a little bit, you know? Welcome back to membership, gamer. Thank you. Are we watching Loom videos? We are. We are. Yes, if you ever wonder why the schedule takes a little long, it's because I'm usually waiting for approval from, what's it called? From the original creators of the videos. So I messaged Loom on Twitter. The man hasn't posted in over a year, so I didn't think he'd even answer me. But I was surprised he did. Like, very quickly, in fact. Like, maybe within the hour, I was like, what? You still have this installed? Why are you here? I mean, I don't know why I'm saying why are you here. It's more like, thank you for being there to answer me, but like, oh my god. He makes videos pretty often, but like, it's more like he's not like on Twitter very often. Like, again, he hasn't posted in over a year on Twitter, so I didn't think he was gonna answer me. But I was surprised that he did answer, like, very quickly. Anyway, are y'all ready to watch some whack-ass Yu-Gi-Oh stories? I found you really enjoy your content. Thank you! Thank you! Yippee! Hold on. So we need rage moments? I don't know. I haven't watched any of these. No, can you wish me good luck on Saturday? I'm going to my local OTS championship. I'm trying to win the Skystriker map for my friend. Good luck! Good luck, gamer. You got this. Well, make sure I have the audio going. Okay. As long as it's not Loom, the year was. There's been a bunch of Loom videos and stores that are crazy. Yeah. The only stipulation that I was told is that I can't watch the newest ones, like the very first, like one that was posted like a day or two ago. You need to have a lot of time in between, but other than that, I can react to whatever. Okay. Anyway, how's your 401k looking like? I don't know. I don't look at my 401k very often. I know that I have one and I pay for it. Do I know how much is in there? No. Okay, anyway.
The year was 2008. Breaking Bad had its first ever pilot episode. Katy Perry was both hot and...
He's British! I'm so sorry. Imagine being British could not be me. Anyway, you didn't know? No, I haven't watched any of these. I haven't watched any of them. I didn't know he was British. I know British drum scare is crazy. I'm so sorry, sir. The British debuff is crazy. Tree gave me French. I know my friend Taro's French. Taro's my goat. Taro's my goat. He's French. Says right. But everyone else is not. The first thing he says when he's watching the video, he's British? I didn't know. I didn't know.
And cold at the same time, and Mero was just gearing up to commit some war crimes. You see, Mero was just about to attend his first ever Yu-Gi-Oh! Regional, but for this event, he had a plan.
Okay.
The deck Mero cooked up for this tournament was called Self-Destruct Button Turbo.
What?
Self-Destruct Button is a card that is...
Video's very quiet. Oh, let me see. Thank you for telling me. Is this better?
Currently forbidden in the modern age.
Is this good?
But at the time was perfectly legal because nobody really thought...
Is that better? Still quiet, really?
much of it.
Is that better?
What this card does is while your life points are lower than your opponent's, and the difference is 7,000 points or more, both players' life
Better. Okay. Much better. Good. I didn't change anything. I don't know. Let me see if that's better, maybe. Okay. Anyway. Oh, no, wait. Okay, run it back.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Regional. But for this event, he had a plan. The deck Mero cooked up for this tournament was called Self-Destruct Button Turbo. Self-Destruct Button is a card that is currently forbidden in the modern age, but at the time was perfectly legal because nobody really thought much of it.
Wait, actually, let's read that. Wait.
Self-Destruct Button is...
You can only activate this card when your life points are lower than your opponent's, and the difference is 7,000 points or more. Both players... What? 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 That's foul. That's evil. What the fuck? Yeah, so that becomes a double loss, right? Oh, that's fucked up. That's so bad. Especially in a best of 3 format. Let's go bad. That's so bad. Oh my god.
Is a card that is currently forbidden in the modern age, but at the time was perfectly legal because nobody really thought much of it. What this card does is while your life points are lower than your opponent's and the difference is 7,000 points or more, both players' life points become 0. So by simply combining this card with a bunch of other cards that reduce your own life points, such as Inspection or Wall of Revealing Light, you could turn every match into a draw. Now you might be wondering, why on earth would someone enter an event with the sole purpose of trying to create a draw? Especially considering a strategy like this only really works well if you go first, otherwise your opponent will have time to set up counterplays such as Solemn Judgment to negate the self-destruct button, or Cold Wave which prevents you setting any trap cards. Well, that is where the true genius of this strategy comes into play, as Mero had found a little bit of a loophole in the rules.
Oh?
It was round 4 of the event, and Mero had been paired up against a Gladiator Beast opponent, which was considered one of the strongest decks at the time. And not only that, but his opponent was most definitely considered a whale, which for those of you who don't know the term, basically means the guy had way too much disposable income. A secret rare Hera, and
I was about to say, did he max rare it? Oh my god, no!
an entire deck of foiled out cards wherever they were available. His entire deck must have cost him easily around $1,000.
Oh my
whereas our
god.
protagonist deck only cost him maybe a couple McDonald's Big Macs. It was safe to say that he wasn't exactly considered the favourite in this matchup. The round begins, and both players roll a die, with the player rolling the higher amount, dictating who goes first. Mero wins the dice roll, all according to plan. Now remember this, as it will become very important later on. Mero chose to go first, and proceeds to draw. And draw. And draw. And draw.
Okay.
Until eventually he hits both an Inspection and a self-destruct button. He activates the Inspection, sets the button face down, along with 3 more face down stacked as bluffs, then he passes the turn. His opponent's turn begins, and he picks up a card, but the moment he entered the standby phase, Mero made his move, by declaring the Inspection. What Inspection does is allows you to randomly select one card in your opponent's hand and look at it, at the cost of 500 life points. He does so and immediately spots a Mystical Space Typhoon. At this moment, and
Does
I
he have card
quote,
rip?
my butt locked up faster than a time lock vault in a bank.
What? Why is there a Luffy ass fucking mouse pad? Why does that exist? Yeah, it only looks at card in hand, but the question is, does he have in hand card removal? Since when was Luffy so caked up,
And
bro?
I quote, my butt locked up faster than a time lock vault in a bank. because
Jesus
this meant his opponent had
Christ.
drawn a way to destroy the inspection, since Mystical Space Typhoon could be used at any time to destroy a spell and trap card. So if his opponent caught on to what was about to happen, he could have stopped it. But thankfully, he was a little bit clueless. Mero uses inspection. His opponent pauses for a moment, looking incredibly confused, but just allows it anyway.
Okay.
Activates inspection again. And then again. And then again. At this point, the opponent just yells out,
Wait, why did his opponent use MST to pop inspection? Why do you let him keep going? Like, we know he has MST, why didn't he stop it? Doesn't do anything. But yeah, but it gives you, like, game knowledge. He collects information? Jesus Christ.
out to a judge across the room. The judge yells out,
You just have
"What's the
toggle on."
card?" And the opponent replies, "Inspection." The judge, without missing a beat, immediately responds without needing any further context, he can use it as much as he wants. Apparently the judge had already read this ruling 3 days prior just by sheer coincidence. The opponent, now looking incredibly flustered and quite a bit irritated, asks to proceed the duel. Mero continues inspecting all the way down to 1,000 life points, at which point he flips the self-destruct button, nuking both players instantly. Draw. His opponent, whilst rolling his eyes, reluctantly scoops up his cards, probably realising his mistake of holding on to that Mystical Space Typhoon. At this point, the match had already been going on for 14 minutes.
That's foul. I'd be so mad. I'd be so mad if my match was 14 minutes of my going inspection. Okay, inspection. Okay, and just kept going. I'd be so mad. I'd be tilted. Like I low-key get tilted sometimes in card games, but I'd be like seething. What do you mean I know the ruling? I mean, I guess someone asked. I guess someone asked. It gets worse? Okay, hold on. We'll keep watching. Keep watching. Okay.
Game 2 is about to begin, so the opponent picks up the dice and rolls it again, presuming that because it was a tie, they would need to re-roll the dice to decide who gets to go first. But this is where Mero's true plan was revealed.
Okay.
He informs to his opponent this is actually not the case. In the case of a tie, the player who initially won the dice roll for the first game gets to decide again. His opponent, now looking even more visibly irritated and being quite vocal about it now, once again calls over the judge. And to Mero's surprise, the judge actually sided with the opponent. Mero was forced to appeal to the head judge, but initially, once again, sided with the opponent. Thankfully, after urging the judge to check the ruling once again on the UDE site, as he had checked it the night before to make sure, the judge realised his mistake, apologised, and with a rather sheepish grin on his face, rules in Mero's favour, and then says,
no.
"Have fun," adding an additional 5-minute time extension to the match due to his incorrect judgment taking up some time. It was at this moment that Mero watched all the emotion leave his opponent's face, before returning a moment later, even angrier than he was before.
This is
He knew what he was
foul.
in for. For the next 7 games in a row, Mero would simply tie the match, each time proceeding to go first, never allowing his opponent a moment to actually play the game.
7? What do you mean 7? It's best of 3. What the fuck is it 7? This is disgusting. Technically, 7 matches is legal because no winner yet? Oh my god. This is where Best of 8 was established for draws. I see. That was card ever printed. There's a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh cards like that, to be fair. There's a lot of cards you're just like, why was this ever printed? It's first 2 wins. I see.
It got to a point where his opponent pulled out his phone and started playing Sonic the Hedgehog to pass the time.
Tribal tattoos and fucking played Sonic Advanced. This is amazing. So good. So fucking funny. Something when it slaps or is dope. It's good. It is very good. He's so real for that. He's so real.
This goes on for the full 40-minute round before starting the 5-minute extension. His opponent attempts to plead with the judges to have the extension revoked, knowing Mero would actually have to side deck in his real win condition during the last 5 minutes in order to win the match. But of course, the judge just declines, allowing Mero to self-destruct once again and move into side decking for the final game.
Okay.
Right before the end of the 5 minutes, Mero had sided in 15 cards. A combination of burn cards that inflict damage to your opponent when they are used, and trap cards that make him immune to damage for a turn. Now for those of you that don't know how the time rules worked in Yu-Gi-Oh! At the time, essentially once the time limit for the match was reached, both players are given 2 turns to try to win the series. But, if no winner...
The Luffy gets me every time!
is decided, the player with the highest life points is deemed the victor. The game begins, and once again, Mero chose to go first, right as the time limit is reached, exactly as Mero had planned from the beginning.
This is disgusting.
4 turns remain to decide the game. He started by activating Goblin Thief to burn his opponent for 500 and gain 500, before setting 1 card and passing the turn. 3 turns remain. His opponent, for the very first time in the entire match, gets to play a card. He normal summons a Bastari, but is immediately met with a hallowed life barrier, which prevents Mero from taking any damage that turn. Reluctantly, his opponent just sets 2 cards and passes the turn back. 2 turns remain. Mero draws a couple of cards before setting 1 trap card and a bunch of bluffs before
This is
passing
horrible.
back.
This is
1
horrible.
turn remains. Immediately as soon as his opponent's turn began, Mero activates Rainbow Life, which once again prevents him from taking any damage that turn.
This is
His opponent
horrible.
observes his set cards before turning to the judge, but before he can even ask the question, the judge states he will lose unless he can change the life points somehow. This definitely didn't leave him very pleased. He shoved all his cards to the side, stood up, and screamed, "You just wasted 40 minutes with a bitch deck." To which Mero replied, "Actually, it was 53 minutes." Mero's plan had well and truly succeeded. And that is where today's tale ends.
No, that's a very valid crash out. No, he's so real. With the Sonic play-by-play. No, if someone said that to me, I'd be so mad. I'd be so angry if I was like using 40 minutes. Actually, 53 minutes passed. I would freak the fuck out. I'd be so livid. That's awful. Did the guy at least win the whole tournament? Was him doing all this worth it? Yeah, I wouldn't give like a DQ either. Is the footage available to watch? Maybe just a description. Where did he find these stories at? Yeah, does he? I don't think he mentions where the stories come from. Does anyone know? Are they like Reddit? What's Pojo? Yeah, I see what's Reddit. I don't know, but hi. Search by Pojo. What? Oh, first off, hi. What the fuck's a Pojo thread? What is that? TCG forum. Oh, I see. Listen, I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh Zoomer. I'm sorry. You're Australian? Never mind, you have rights. I'm so sorry. You have rights now. I revoked your rights. I thought you were British. Never mind. You have rights again. That's base. He's Aussie. No, that means he has rights. That means he has rights. But yeah, that's crazy. Oh, Pokemon. I see. So I have no rights then? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Dude, Australia's cool. Thanks for subscribing. Thank you. And tipping $3. Thank you. Someone called for a token Australian? Yeah, Australia's cool. They have kangaroos and spiders that can kill you. Actually, doesn't everything want to kill you in Australia? Or they have like a lot of marsupials. Marsupials are pretty cool. I like them. They're funky little guys. Hold on, let me pull up another one. It's a dangerous place? That's so real. Then again, so is America. Okay. Bam. Let's see. Go from here. Okay, this is what showed up my feed the first time, the caught using a fake card. I low-key want to watch it. No, it's not subscribed. This is my personal account. I try to keep as little Yu-Gi-Oh stuff for my personal account as I humanly can, but it keeps bleeding into my feed anyway. I keep trying so hard to be like, okay, this is my, like, this is the separate space that I can be like a normal person and like normie stuff, and well, Yu-Gi-Oh gets there anyway. I don't know. Yeah, my feed just knows that I like Yu-Gi-Oh. What a drop bear is? Yeah, they're koalas. They're koalas. I know. Also, I ain't even gonna comment on the banner, bro. I ain't even gonna comment. Why the fuck is Toad hitting the fucking notification bell? Why don't you use a separate browser for a different lot? No, even when I use a different browser, it still keeps everything. It doesn't matter what I'm on. Are drop bears not koalas? Really, every reactor. That's so real. Anyway.
The year was 2018. Kendrick was singing about some stars. Weebs began their unhealthy obsession over a certain bunny girl. And WPWT3026 was about to attend a local Yu-Gi-Oh tournament.
Okay.
Now, for the sake of simplicity and to avoid me sounding like I'm having a stroke whenever I mention their name, we're just gonna call them WP for the rest of the video. This tournament was coming right off the back.
Who's Bunny Girl? It's Bunny Girl Senpai! It's an anime, I guess it is for 2018, huh? Oh, it was 2016? That might be. Bunny Girl, am I gonna see? No, you cannot see my mom wearing Bunny Girl outfits, you freak! Leave my mother alone! Leave her alone! Never heard of it? It's crazy. Bunny Girl Senpai was so popular. I know because I never watched it because of that reason. I hate when anime's too popular, I refuse to watch it. Wait, it just got a season 2? They're in college now? Oh my god, I feel old. Yeah, I heard Bunny Girl Senpai is old. Not old, good, but I refuse to watch anime when it's like really trendy. Like, I'm only just now considering watching Oshinoko. Even though it's been like, what, 2 years or a year since it ended? Look at the sister, leave me alone, okay? Leave me alone. Okay, don't do that as a former Oshinoko stan. Don't, but the music's so good. You can save time on Oshinoko. Don't. I'm sorry. It's been 3 years since it ended? I thought it just ended. Oh my god. If you're just my friend who's 40 years old, he refused to watch trendy anime. Leave me alone! Stop calling me old! I'm not old! Fuck you! I'm not old! Leave me alone! Anyway, back to the video. Back to the video. Fuck you, chat.
A very significant ban list that had quite severely weakened the best deck at the time, Spiral, and allowed a whole bunch of other decks to begin taking the spotlight. Burning Abyss, Tree Draco, Trickstar, Pendulum Magician, and quite a few others. Unfortunately though for our protagonist, because this was such a brand new format, he hadn't had enough time to practice or prepare a proper deck for the upcoming meta, as a bunch of his cards were still coming in the mail. So he decided, screw it. For this event, he was going to mess around and whip out some Red Eyes, in combination with a card called Galaxy Tomahawk.
No! 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 Not Tomahawk! No! Fuck! No, that's evil. Oh, that's evil. Oh no. Wait, yeah, you're right. Links exist. Oh no. Oh, that's foul. No. What the fuck?
Now admittedly, this card is pretty busted, and had to be banned a few years later due to how insane it was at generating free material to be used for link summoning. But at the time, it wasn't really considered that big of a problem, especially when being summoned in Red Eyes of all things. So WP was rocking up to this event with a bit of a meme deck. But to be fair, I don't think it really mattered what he brought, as no amount of preparation could have possibly prepared him for what he was about to face in round 1 of this event.
Okay.
It was round 1 of the event, and as WP seated himself at the table, he noticed a large amount of new faces around the room. Turns out, due to the excitement generated by this brand new ban list, this tournament had a way larger turnout than normal, and had drawn in quite a few non-regulars, and one of these unfamiliar faces now sat across from him as his opponent. They exchanged pleasantries, and everything seemed pretty normal at first. So both players picked up a die and rolled it, with the winner deciding who gets to go first. WP rolled low, so his opponent chose to go first, and this is where it became very apparent this wasn't going to be an ordinary game of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh no.
His opponent picks up 5 cards to form his starting hand, and proceeds, in what was clearly a very well-rehearsed anime protagonist voice, to declare, "I activate the spell card, a hero lives. It allows me to special summon..."
He's a Chuny! Oh my god, he's a Chuny! No! Has anyone else experienced that before? Like going to a tournament and someone is like a Giga Chuny and you're like, sir, please, it's 9 in the morning. I don't have the emotional bandwidth to deal with this right now. It's okay, I'm Chuny when I play too. No, I can't. He's gonna crush a Chuny's dream. Yeah, with fucking Tomahawk, bro. He watches Audio Report YouTube shorts. if I'm at locals like dicking around my friends, it's pretty fun. I ain't gonna lie to you, Chief. If I'm dicking around my friends, it's pretty fun. But I would never do that at a tournament when I'm tired and barely want to exist. No. Oh, I'd crash out. Pro and Konami streams hero best deck while subscribed to MBT's only friends. That's crazy. Yeah, dude, it's the shootings are always Jade or Yusei LARPers. I don't know what it is. Oh my god, congrats on your new job. Hope it went well. No, you're right. The AFH hero player, that guy was based. He had rights. I can't judge him. That guy was peak. What's a chuny? It's like someone who acts like they're very anime. Like they try to act like an anime character. Those are the very rare Yugioh LARPers. I've never seen a Yugioh LARPer, but like that does not surprise me. I feel like he's in a similar category, right? So I might get often in Minecraft. Tsunami might hit the island. Oh my god, no! I hope you're okay! Oh my god! What the fuck? I hope you're okay! Oh my god, please stay safe. Oh my god. Yeah, like you can't really be shooty in Minecraft. Not Minecraft. In Magic, because there's not really like an anime for people to be chuny from. There's Duel Masters, but I think Duel Masters is like its own thing. My god, TCG. Not gonna lie, I'm surprised it doesn't exist yet. In Minecraft, yeah, in Minecraft. Yeah, please stay safe. Try to find, like, I'm trying to think, like, you stay in a closet, right, during a storm? Or if you have, like, a basement, I don't know, like, how your location is. Maybe a basement, stay in a basement, if not, like, in a closet, like a walk-in closet. Make sure you have, like, food stored somewhere. Be safe, gamer. You can be tuning Duel Masters. Yeah, you're gonna be tuning Duel Masters. Bathtub, true, bathtub. Wouldn't a basement get flooded? I don't know. For some reason, get high up somewhere, it's all icy. You can tell where I live does not have tsunamis because I'm trying to, I don't know where to go, but I'm trying my best. With MTG, the chuny are most super dark and edgy. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. The answer is a roof or a sturdy building or a mountain possible. There you go. I'm sure Chow will give you better advice than I would. Because I have never been into tsunamis, so I don't know shit. Yeah, we're thinking of tornadoes. Yeah, true. Duel Links is a very chuny game. Okay, anyway, start with a side tangent. Back to the video.
Any elemental hero monster directly from my deck.
Oh my
he then
God.
immediately picked up his deck and began sifting through it.
Okay.
WP paused for a moment, a little stunned by the sudden appearance of Jade and Yuki across from him.
He's so
before stating,
real.
I'd like to chain Ash Blossom. For you non-Yu-Gi-Oh players out there, this is simply a card that can be used from hand to negate searches or summons just like this one. His opponent stopped and slowly looked up with a completely puzzled expression on his face.
Does he not know? Oh no, wait, is this guy like someone's been played in like 20 years just had his deck from when he was like 12. How do you not my goat? Wait, does he not know? Does he not know? Oh no!
You can't use that. It's my turn.
No! Oh, he doesn't know. Oh, he doesn't know.
Before returning to sifting through his deck. Oh boy. One quick judge call later, and one...
I'm sorry, I love Judge Judy showing up every time. It's so funny. Oh my god, People Night, do you want Mon? Do you want Mon People Night? Someone just got a chain happiness? No, I think it would hurt his brain. I think it would hurt. I don't think he would know what to do. No, there's no way it's a young person. There's literally no way. No 12-year-old knows about Jade and Yuki and being like a chuuni. They don't know. They're unaware. This guy's at least like 35. No, fuck. Anyway.
Not so quick explanation later, and the game's state returned to normal, so the duel resumes. Unfortunately though, for the rest of the game, it was very one-sided and very uneventful, as the Ash Blossom had completely stunted his opponent and caused him to pass on essentially nothing, leading to an incredibly quick Red Eyes beatdown on the following turn. Game 2. His opponent, being the loser, elects to go first once again, and to WP's complete surprise, as he thought this guy must be a complete newbie at this point, watched his opponent started popping the fuck off. This man, despite not knowing how the single most popular card in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Worked, clearly knew exactly—
Wait, what is the most popular Yu-Gi-Oh! Card then? If it's like, if Ash Blossom's number 2, what's number 1? Because every deck runs Ash. Maxi? Maxi's like a... No. Was Maxi legal at this point? I would say it's imperm, if anything. It also depends on when this screenshot was like taken, right? Does this account for only 2008 or 2018, or is this like most popular card like currently? It's second overall, first in Monster, so it's second overall. I guess Imperm be number 1 then. It was Imperm. Screenshot says Ash that was first, so it's not Max. I see. Thank you. Yeah, Imperm makes sense.
Single most popular card in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Worked, clearly knew exactly how his hero deck functioned, as he began comboing off into hero after hero after hero after yeah, we might have a small problem. WP noticed something as he watched his opponent combo.
What?
His opponent just summoned Extra Wonder Driver.
Okay.
Now normally, this wouldn't be a problem. He used the correct materials, he placed it in the right zone, there wasn't any restrictions stopping him from summoning this thing, it was a completely legal summon. There was just one tinsy tiny little problem.
Okay.
Extra Hero Wonder Driver hadn't been released yet. The card now placed directly—
What? What? Where did he get it from? Where did my guy get this thing from? He must have been Australian. That's crazy. He made it? He got him a rare hunter. Oh my god. Doesn't know Ash Blossom means it's a card from the future. True, that's crazy. His Xerox color printer. Oh, thank you for subscribing. Thank you. He's from from the future. My guy's a time traveler. Real life Aster Phoenix? That's crazy. No, he's just besties with Pegasus, and Pegasus gave him one. From space? Dude, use his dueling skill? Oh my god. No, you know what it is? Fuck, what was the card that Jaden Easley just made up 3 random cards and just existed? It's not the Seal Orichalcos. What the fuck was it? Why can't I think of the name? Why can't I think of the name of the card that Jaden used in like the duel from season 1? Where he just got to grab 3 random ass cards. Philosopher's Stone! Thank you. Why the fuck did I think it was a Seal of Orichalcos? My man had the fucking Philosopher's Stone and like willed Extra Hero Wonder Driver into existence. No, I know Seal Orichalcos was Duel Monsters. I know. I don't know why I kept trying to say Seal Orichalcos. Harry Potter and the Seal Orichalcos is crazy. It was his Grail wish. This is so fucking funny. Okay.
In front of him was a card WP had recognized from a promotion he'd seen for an upcoming set later that year.
Okay.
WP leans forward in his chair and stares at the card before asking his opponent, where did you get this? His opponent, while still in character mind you, responded, I got it from eBay. No.
Yeah, for real, ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way. He got it for fucking eBay. This is peak Jaden energy. Chat, he's him. He's fucking him. He probably bought him Australian. No, my go Australia would never. Oh no, I thought the evil would be WP, but I see now the true evil was eBay.
Not something you typically expect a protagonist to say, but regardless, WP politely asked if he could take a closer look at the driver. He picked up the card and began the examination. Sure enough, this was most definitely a fake card. There was no set number, no shiny square in the bottom right. The card was as stiff as a brick. This was faker than a Kardashian's behind.
That's great! Lou, you can't roast my girl Kim like that! Oh my god! You can't roast my girl Kim like that! Oh my god! Damn! He ain't I mean, he's not, but oh my god! True, she did pay good money for that cake. She did. Yeah, it's true. I wonder how much he paid for Wonder Driver. Unironically, I wouldn't be surprised if this guy like hasn't played Yu-Gi-Oh in years and like just bought a deck off eBay. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he just bought a deck off eBay and this just happened to be in there. There's no way that my guy didn't know what Ash Blossom was, but knew what Wonder Driver was and bought it off eBay. There's no way. Yeah, he had to have bought like a shitty deck from like from eBay. Bro bought him the hentai shirt, Weevil? That's crazy. That's crazy. I did date someone at our regionals who thought number monster had anime number protection. What the fuck? That's insane. Why does Winter Driver look like a whole ass Kamen Rider though? Because all the hero monsters are based on like superheroes like Super Sentai. So that's like they all look like this. It's not just Wonder Driver. Everyone looks like this. I'll be honest, I thought numbers had the anime rule as well. That's crazy. I guess I never had that confusion because I learned what number monsters were before watching Zexel. So I just had no idea that's even a thing. So they thought that the number protection was an effect of the number of monsters. That news is based off Guyver? I don't know. But all the heroes in general are like based on like superheroes. So like, I think it started out as American heroes. Masters. Oh, here you go. Yeah, masked heroes are American heroes, but masked heroes are Kamen Riders. This is both Guyver and Ultraman. My friend did the number anime rule. That's fair. Sometimes like to do anime stuff are fine. Sometimes being a shooting is a good time. Something about Shurig's a wood? Yeah, of course he is. It's hot. Did they make a bullshit effects to make it show off the number cards? Yeah. I feel like anime does that in general. Well, they'll like, what's it called? They'll make rules specifically for the anime to make parts cooler. Like the stuff with Raw. I'm pretty sure the anime got up to 4,000 life points. Did they up the anime life points to 4,000 just for Raw? Or was that like a different thing? That's it. One more hero link monsters have more awesome designs. True. I know it was meant for Battle City. Like I watched the episode, the series. I know, but I thought it did have a play like in development, not in the story. I mean. Because he's Takahashi's rule and I see. Anyway, back to the episode.
At this point, WP slowly returns the card before looking up his opponent. He then began trying to explain to him this card was completely fake, whilst pointing out the various different features the card was missing.
This is horrible.
For the very first time this match, his opponent broke character. All prior emotion began deflating from this poor guy's face as the realization began to sink in. Not only had he been scammed by some random dude on eBay, but he had now been embarrassed by not knowing the difference between a real and an obviously fake card that he attempted to use in a real match.
No!
Seeing the despair on his opponent's face, WP felt incredibly bad for the guy at this point. So he decided, instead of calling for a judge, you know what, screw it. The card's going to be available soon anyway, so I don't mind if you want to use it for the rest of this game. A smile began creeping back onto his opponent's face, who immediately jumped back into character.
Also, welcome Raiders. Hi, I'm Nova. I play card games. Today we're reacting to wacky Yu-Gi-Oh stories. Not the fake card. Yeah. Oh, technically it's not fake. It's real. It's just technically his is fake. The card itself is real. But yeah, hope you had a good stream. Were you playing the Persona porn game? Yeah, it's a real fake card. It's a proxy. There we go. It's so good. No, but I can't fuck men in that game. game. No, you don't understand. I literally crashed out at Limita the other day because I was like, dude, this shit sucks. Why are so many games like, okay, to explain because I feel like most people here are men, right? They don't understand that basically every like game that's garnered for women always has like, they always imply like themes like that, but they'll never actually go for it, right? Like there are so many hentai games where it's like you get to fuck the women, but they just go crazy, right? If you're fucking girls, you're just going crazy. Or if it's like yaoi, you just go crazy, right? But for women, it's always like, they went to the other room. Like, they don't go for it. I'm like, come on! Let me fuck the twink, man! Ah! What do you want from me? It's so annoying! It's every time. We need women games made by women real. The chapter later just seemed to interesting Joker. Do you want a suggestion? Hell yeah! That's a marketing exploit, but I don't have time to make fucking hentai games, bro. Bro, it's my big Love and Defense. No, Love and Defense does the same thing. It's always like, they go in the other room, or like, they like each other a lot, and they'll kiss passionately, but there's no dicks out, bro. Go crazy. It's unfair. Fuck. Yeah, real equal good representation. Fashioning Little Miss Lonesome. Thank you. I will write that down. I will write that down. Thank you. I will be sure to look into that later. Thank you. That's like a full gamer experience. I know. It's like, also let me give you the wrench. I'm sorry. That's like a whole market they could tap into, but they refuse to because they hate me. Anyway, back to the video. I'm sorry.
While playing out the rest of his turn, setting up a pretty formidable field of hero monsters. Only to then get completely and utterly pounded 2 seconds later. As it turns out, WP wasn't actually just being a good Samaritan by letting them play the fake. They just knew that no matter what, fake or not, they were going to obliterate any hero Enfield as they had drawn an actual god hand.
Okay.
So after a quick pounding, the score was now 2-0.
No!
WP had won the match. Now as for what happened at the rest of this tournament, unfortunately, nobody really knows, as this is where WPWT3026's post sadly concluded. So that's going to mark the end of today's tale. But before you guys all head off, I'm currently on the lookout for great stories just like this one that I can potentially turn into other videos. So if you happen to have a great story to tell yourself of your time playing in an event, or just even know of some cool story and would like to share it down below, feel free to leave the story in the comments down below. Just make sure to leave as much info as possible, as it makes it way easier to make these videos if I actually have some sort of context to build around. If you enjoyed this and would like to see more, make sure to leave a like and
I should tell my story about the Horus Orcrus tuning a face last year at YCS. Yeah, go with his Reddit thread. He left to fight Yuma's dad. Hold on. Let's find another one. Are we gonna watch the Farfa videos about crazy Yu-Gi-Oh stories? Farfa does those? Like I said, I'm gonna be real. I try my best to avoid Yu-Gi-Oh content as much as I can so that I do not go insane. Because I already have to look at Yu-Gi-Oh stuff every day. Like, for stream. That I feel like if I just like watched Yu-Gi-Oh content and did everything all the time, I would go crazy. So I watch like, I have like a pocket of like Yu-Gi-Oh content creators that I enjoy watching, but I cannot watch everyone or else I'll go insane. I'll really go crazy. Let's see. Okay, y'all don't have to say that I'm crazy. Can't you be like, can't you guys say nice things about me, chat? What the fuck? Why can't you say nice things? My phone's going bananas? Bro, you're telling me this is like every day. Every day, like every hour of the day. It's just like this. I go crazy. Okay. Oh my god, shut up! Oh my god. I'm just gonna turn my phone. This is so annoying. Can you just look it up? Power off. Thank you. Try to be an anime girl. Peace. Anyway, what's a good one to watch? He punched a judge. What?
The year was...
Hold up. What do you mean he punched a what? Here we go.
The year was 2019. Naruto was spotted at Area 51.
Oh my god! I forgot about this. Wait, wasn't the idea that like, what's it called? That like they can't get us all, so they're gonna storm Area 51 while Naruto running. Yeah, they can't get us all. It's crazy. No, it was more like there was 20 people. Bro was just fighting dreamers. It was very funny. So we're correctly, like immediately after this happened, there was like, what's it called? A bunch of other ones like this where it was like, I think there was like a hurricane happening. So people were like, we're gonna Naruto run in the opposite direction to stop the hurricane. Aliens need to be shown Naruto Shippuden. Wait.
Gamer girls started selling their bathwater.
What? Oh, what the fuck's her name? I remember this person. I remember this. I keep saying, oh, I was right, it's Belle Delphine. I kept trying to say that, but I didn't think that was right. I forgot about her.
People were encouraged to toss coins at witches, and the hero of today's tale, Makoto, was about to attend a local Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. Now, the end of 2019 was a bit of a weird time for Yu-Gi-Oh, as this period was marking the final days of one of Yu-Gi-Oh's most beloved formats, TOS. Thunder Dragon, Orcust, Sky Striker, and Salad, with a ban list hitting in October.
Oh my god, so many pictures of Alex. So many pictures of Alex, oh my god. Also, isn't Orcust like meta again, right? Because then they get new support, like 2 Link monsters, right? As about recent stat, I see. These are for won a North American Championship. Yeah, people are okay. People are like, oh my god, no, it's not. But doesn't it like winning events or getting like topping events? Am I crazy? I don't know. I don't play TCG, so I don't know. The card just left the ban list too. Ah, I see. Is it okay the EWCQ and one NIWCQ, but not meta for anything by people's definition? I see. That's weird. Like, you would think if it does like really well at events that it would like be considered that. But again, I don't know shit. I don't play TCG. Yeah, Orchid Mitsurugi is what I heard people playing.
That took away some of their key cards, and this tournament was happening very shortly after that list dropped, meaning it was kind of up in the air as to what the current best deck was. For Makoto, this just meant a new format, and therefore a new environment to try out his pet deck, Necros, which, thanks to another ban list update earlier that year, which freed one of its core cards, was now in a much stronger state, and he was very eager to test it out. Our story takes place during the final round of this event, as after a very successful day of Yu-Gi-Oh!, Makoto surprisingly found himself at a scoreline of 3-0, and was looking to go undefeated on the day. Makoto walked over to his assigned table and took a seat, before setting up his playmat whilst he waited for his opponent to arrive. Not so long after, a man roughly in his early 30s approached the table.
I'm sorry. Is this what you interpret as your early 30s? I'm not fucking... What the fuck? Why'd you put Kozaburo as fucking early 30s? This shit's the fucking worst. To be fair, if you had Seto as your son, you would have lived that too? No! Actually, you probably would. He's a fucking menace. Welcome to anime where anyone over 30 is old. You can't see that. There's no, you can't put Kozaburo there to represent your early 30s. That's fucked up. I thought Kaiba was 30. No, Kaiba's like a high schooler. He's a little baby. Yeah, Kaiba's like maybe like 16. He's a baby. He's a menace just like you. You know what? I'll take the menace title. I'll take it. Yeah, he's definitely like probably like 18 around Darkside Dimensions, but for the rest of the series, he's probably like 16 or 17. He's like a baby. He's a little guy. He's how I feel being 27. I thought Kaiba was early to mid 20s. No, Kaiba goes to school. He's a high schooler. I guess you don't really see him in the Duel Monsters anime, but he goes to school with Yugi and all them in season 0. Like, he's a baby. Imagine if Kai was 27 and be with 16-year-old kids. I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. I thought Kai went to private school. I don't remember. But I remember distinctly in season 0, he went to school with them for like maybe a few episodes. Didn't Kaiba ditch school because he's a genius and owns a company? Yeah, I think he just stopped going to school eventually because he's a fucking billionaire. But for at least season 0, when he had green hair and shit, he was definitely there with the kiddies. Yeah, Kaiba was in Yugi's class. He was definitely there. In Yugi's first episode, he was in Yugi's school. Ah, I see. Yes, he's definitely a baby.
Before taking a seat across from him. Now, the reason I'm pointing out his age was Makoto was only 16, which makes how this...
No, stop! I keep getting psychic damage! I keep getting psychic damage from this stuff!
story ends, and this 30-year-old guy's behaviour just that more bizarre. After exchanging some not-so-pleasant pleasantries, Makoto and his opponent picked up some dice and rolled to see who would go first. Unfortunately, Makoto rolled low, meaning he was to go second, and so the duel began. His opponent was on Dragon Link, an archetype which, as you might have guessed, is based around a bunch of dragons, whose main synergy is... well, they're a bunch of dragons.
True.
Typically, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is more of an archetype-based game now, and just being the same type doesn't necessarily mean having good synergy, but this is one of the few archetypes that is literally just a pile of the best dragon cards stuffed together, with the end goal of the deck being to summon as many of the biggest and most powerful dragon monsters available.
Why did you put Seal as the most powerful dragon monster? I love ending on Seal's Bass. That's so fucking funny.
In hopes that your opponent just simply won't be able to crack through the field. Which is exactly what occurred in Game 1, with Makoto starting his first turn by staring down a field of practically unbeatable dragon monsters, with multiple negates and removal effects. So he decided it probably wasn't worth the effort and moved on to Game 2. Game 2 was the polar opposite of Game 1, with Makoto taking a look at his opening hand. Vanity's Ruler and Yugioh. This wasn't going to be a fun time for his opponent. Vanity's Ruler is a monster that when on the field, prevents all special summoning, which is basically all Dragon Link tries to do. And Yugioh negates the effects of all special summon monsters from the extra deck, which is basically where all of his opponent's big dragons come from. So after doing a few combos, he ended on both monsters and passed the turn. It was very clear at this point that his opponent was not happy with what Makoto had summoned.
Wait. Again, I'm like a Yu-Gi-Oh! Zoomer. How do you turbo this out, right? Because you have to normal it. Use Horse Engine? But Horse didn't exist at this point. At least I don't think it. No, this is 2018. Yeah, Horse didn't exist at this point. Drytron? Or 2018. Yeah, what the heck? Like, how do you summon this guy? How did this work? Negro doesn't only need its normal summon. I see. Necros is the ritual that doesn't only use the normal summon. I see. So you just special a fuck ton of guys and then just tribute to make this? I see. Okay.
Pretty clear at this point that his opponent was not happy with what Makoto had summoned, as he spent the next few minutes just huffing and puffing, and not so conspicuously, throwing curses under his breath.
Oh my god.
Finally admitting he just couldn't find an out, and therefore moving on to Game 3. Game 3 begun in a very similar fashion to Game 1. His opponent had opened an absolute god hand and proceeded to once again set up a practically unbeatable board state of multiple negates and removals. And with a very smug look on his face, he passed the turn back over to Makoto. Makoto was sweating. He checked his hand for the 100th time. He'd already had plenty of time to weigh up his options during the previous turn whilst he'd watched his opponent basically playing solitaire, and unfortunately, he knew he had no options. He slowly moved his head to look at his deck. He still had his draw for turn. Maybe if he just top-decked... yeah, he couldn't think of anything. He reached over and drew his card. Super Polymerization.
Oh my
For those of you that don't know what this card does, basically allows you to discard a card to perform a fusion summon by using cards on either player's field as material.
Jesus Christ!
And what makes this effect even more broken is it cannot be responded to, meaning your opponent can't negate it.
No!
Now, the downside of this card is in order for it to be used as removal, your extra deck has to have fusion monsters, and those fusion monsters have to match the materials that your opponent might be running. If your opponent isn't playing any monsters that can be used as material, it's just a completely dead card. The two fusion monsters Makoto ran were Mud Dragon of the Swamp and Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, with only Starving Venom being summonable here, as it required two dark monsters, to which his opponent had an abundance of.
Oh no.
Unfortunately though, he knew that after removing those two monsters, it wouldn't really change anything, as he would still have to play through 3 or more forms of disruption, and considering Super Poly requires a discard, he will be down 2 cards already. Odds are, even if he did manage to break the field, he wouldn't be able to set much up to avoid the clapback on the following turn.
This is
Makoto
foul.
reached over and picked up his extra deck, and reluctantly began sifting through it, looking for his Starving Venom. But as soon as he took the Starving Venom out of the deck, it revealed the card below it, and he stopped for a moment. He was currently staring at another fusion monster, a card he'd completely forgotten about. You see, Necros is an interesting ritual spell. A ritual spell that allows you to ritual summon by using your extra deck monsters as tribute, rather than your hand or field like normal. This meant in order to get the most use out of the card, Makoto had to run a random level 12 monster in the extra deck for his ritual summons. It didn't matter what monster it was, it just had to be something level 12 in order to get the most value out of his ritual spell.
What?
But Makoto's choice of monster just happened to be a fusion monster. A fusion monster that requires a very specific set of materials you typically would never see in a Yu-Gi-Oh match.
What?
Makoto looked over at his opponent's field and began counting. 1, 2, 3, 4... Oh my god, this was going to work. Makoto declared the activation of Super Polymerization.
Okay.
His opponent looked at the card, then rose his head and with a slightly agitated look, asked, "Alright, which of my monsters are you planning to fuse?" Makoto looked his opponent dead in the eye before responding, "All of them."
What?
Before slamming 5-headed dragon onto the field. He watched his opponent's expression drop to match his jaw that looked
This poor man! This poor man! He's him! He's literally him! Oh my god. This poor man. He's literally him. He's the chosen one. That's horrible.
looked like it was about to hit the floor. 5-headed dragon is a fusion monster that requires 5 dragon-type monsters in order to summon it, which just happened to be the exact amount of monsters on his opponent's field. His opponent's gaze of astonishment quickly changed to one of rage as he got up from his chair and yelled, "Who the actual fuck plays that as a super poly target?"
Okay, to be fair, I used to also run fucking 5-headed dragon, but not as a super poly target either. I played it for, what's it called? The Mecha Punishment target. That's still so fucking funny. Yeah, it's the Mecha Punishment target. That's so fucking... He's for Necros plays, but still, it's so funny. My goal is just him. He's just that guy. He just knew. That's so funny. That's so fucking funny. This poor man. This poor man.
Before going on a massive screeching ramble about how lucky Makoto was that he'd messed up his combo on the previous turn and left an extra dragon on the field that normally wouldn't be there. Before calling Makoto a whole bunch of names that I can't repeat if I want to keep this video monetized.
Oh my god!
After hearing all the commotion, of course, the judge of the event quickly rushed on over to the table. Dude, calm down. If you don't settle down, I'm going to have to kick you. Before the judge could even finish his sentence, his opponent had done a full 180 and immediately socked the judge right in the nose, while screaming, "And fuck you too." Now after hitting the judge, it must have hit him what he'd just done, as he just immediately picked up his cards and belted it out of the store, not even bothering to pick up his playmat. After the event concluded, the store owner contacted the police and the judge pressed charges. Whether or not anything came from that, Makoto doesn't know, as he never heard about or came across the guy again. But since the guy never came back, Makoto did end up getting to keep the playmat the guy left behind.
No fucking like, I was so stun-locked, I couldn't say anything. My dad fucking took it back. I mean, to be fair, he deserves it, right? For dealing with that guy going crazy. Free mat's a free mat. I mean, it's a nice mat. We take those. He's the dragon ruler now. This is so fucking funny. I can't believe he took the guy's fucking mat. Yeah, it's a double-sided mat. It's so fucking funny. Oh my god. Yeah, real. Even if he didn't win the event, he at least won a free mat. That's awesome. This is so rad.
Which he's kept to this very day and sent me a picture of to show in the video. And that is going to mark the end of today's tale.
Wait. Was this picture from the event itself? Because you can see markers for tables. That's so fucking funny. Get out of here. Oh my god, my cheeks hurt. I hope he still uses that mat. Genuinely, I hope he does. That's so funny. Also, thank you for the raid. Welcome, raiders. Hi, I'm Noble Picker Games. Having a good stream. It could for a different event, that's true. But I like to think he got so excited about the fact that he got a free mat, he took a picture of it immediately. He's taking them back to YCS. Yeah, dude, if he left his cards as he bolted, bro, free deck. Yeah, true, you think the judge would get the mat because he's the one that got punched in the face. Yeah, this should be his consolation prize for being punched. It's the fucking mat. Especially because mats can be expensive, dude. Custom mats are expensive. Poor judge, for real. Poor judge, oh my god.
Thank you so much, Makoto, for sharing your story in the comment section of one of my previous videos. And as per usual, if you too have a story or tale from your time playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And would like to have it recreated in this series, feel free to write it down in the comments below.
Okay. Actually, I don't have a Yu-Gi-Oh story, but I do have a Vanguard story. I think I told this story before on stream. I can't remember. But I remember distinctly, I was at a Vanguard tournament, right? And what was it? Like, I was already, like, crashing out low-key because I was, for context, it was a Teams event. And I was put in C slot to avoid Chrono Jet. 'Cause at the time, Chrono Jet was the best deck in format. And I was playing Prison, which, like, does not do very much against it. In that format in general, actually. So I was put in C slot. And first off, I had to go against that deck every single match or every other match. It was horrible. But it's my last match of the event, right? Last match of the event, I was paired against this guy. And, like, we were talking before the match. Because I think I had prison sleeves on. And he's like, oh, is that your favorite deck? And I'm like, yeah, it is. Like, what's your favorite deck, my guy? And he pulls out, like, this max rarity Bermuda Triangle that goes, oh, yeah, it's this one. I love lollies, dude. They look how beautiful my girls are. And I'm like, I want to fucking kill myself. I still don't know. Bermuda Triangle is like an archetype full of little girls. They're children. So I'm sitting there just like, uh-huh. And he's like, yeah, I love the Bermuda Triangle. They're my favorite. And he's playing like a different waifu deck. And his sleeves were also of a little girl. And I was sitting there just like, uh-huh. He just kept talking about how much he loved lollies. And then I got tilted because I think he checked OT that match too. And I was like, get me fuck out of here. After that, I just scooped. What's it called? I dropped. I was like, I can't do this shit anymore. Get out of here. Get out of here. We will literally. It was horrible. It's one thing to, like, talk about how much you love lollies, which is, like, kind of weird. But to say that to a girl is even weirder. I was like, what is happening? Did he put a hangout shirt? No, he didn't. I was so tilted. I was so tilted, bro. Hero was not bathing when it could use the lolly stride and said, bro, if you don't bathe and you talk about how much you love lollies in a tournament, I think I would just leave immediately. I wouldn't even do the match. I would just get the fuck out of there. His tactic worked. My tactic was being a cute girl. His tactic was freaking me the fuck out, and it worked. It worked. Fuck. It worked. He inflicted literal psychic damage on me. I wasn't ready, bro. Oh my god. Okay. Videos. Let's see. Also, may I just say, this freaking art of Yugi that he used in his thumbnails is so cute. It's so cute, man. I don't know where this art came from, but it's so baby. So freaking cute. Okay, we need this. Oh, there's a playlist? Oh, wait. Let me find it. I didn't know it's a playlist. Thank you. Let me hunt. Hold on. Oh, there's a playlist. I'm stupid. I didn't see it. There we go. Oh, here we go. Oh, that's not it. What is? Here we go. Here's the playlist. Whoa, I found it. Thank you. They were
Welcome to Sydney, Australia's most populated city and a place you might recognise being home to the world's most impractically shaped building. But after today's video, you might just start remembering it for something else.
What the fuck?
The Fairfield City Area Police have received a tip-off. Something very suspicious was going down over in the west side of the city.
Okay.
The police had received reports of alleged large-scale illegal drug distribution coming from somewhere along Alberta Street in Canali Heights. And so, the Fairfield City detectives began their investigation. The investigation only deepened their suspicions. The detectives were now 100% certain this street was definitely the source of their little drug problem. The investigation had narrowed down the source to just 5 units, all from the same block. With the suspicious location found, but a distinct lack of hard evidence to charge anyone with the crime, there was just one thing left to do. Get in there and catch these criminals in the act. The police enlisted the help of the State Command's Organised Crime Squad, assigning Raptor Squad to the job. 5 search warrants had been issued.
I'm sorry. That made me laugh harder than it should have.
And the searches were to be conducted immediately and simultaneously, before the criminals had any chance to make their getaways. And so the police headed on down to the street and prepared for the raid.
I felt that so hard. That's me. That's me. I'm like, okay, I'm at work. Nothing's happening. Okay, log in and mess your door. That's literally me. Oh my god!
Okay, so it probably wasn't that extravagant. But Raptor Squad simultaneously burst through the doors of all 5
Oh my god!
buildings. But what lay before them was completely and utterly horrifying. Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
What?
Boxes and boxes and boxes of Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
What?
$50,000 worth of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. That's roughly 300 to 400 boxes of cards. Not quite what you expect to see during a standard drug bust.
What?
But after shaking off the initial confusion, the cops continued their search, and after searching the remainder of the premises, they found exactly what they came here for. Drugs.
Yeah?
Lots and lots of drugs. 2 kilograms of cocaine, 1 kilogram methamphetamine, various other illicit and prescription-only drugs, as well as a prohibited weapon, stolen identification cards, and $2 million worth of cash.
Oh my
Overall,
God.
an estimated street value of over $800,000 worth of drugs had been seized, along with 4 men and 2 women who were also found on the premises, immediately arrested and taken to the Fairfield police station for questioning. Now you might be wondering, why on earth did an illegal drug
Unfortunately for them, landing overdose was a terrible step for them to attempt this kind of scheme. Jesus Christ. Oh, did it echo? I don't... Is it? It shouldn't be. Yeah, it shouldn't be. Weird. Okay, anyway.
syndicate have $50,000 worth of Yu-Gi-Oh cards just lying around? Well, apparently, they were trying to use these cards to launder money. A pretty strong emphasis on the word trying. You see, laundering money, for those of you that don't know, is taking a bunch of illegally acquired money and either disguising how you got it or legitimizing it, typically by putting it through a legal source, such as putting the money into a business or investing into a product to sell off. Which in this case meant for some reason purchasing a...
They were gonna sell shitty Yu-Gi-Oh packs? They used their money to buy packs to sell product? That's horrible. Why couldn't they have picked a better set? Didn't Pote exist at this point, right? Why did they use Pote? Like a really good set. Why on Yu-Gi-Oh? Yeah, why could... Oh, was it before Pote? I don't know when fucking Pote came out. I thought Pote was 2022. They're brokies. It was later 2022? I thought they said it was 2023 when this happened. Actually, let's look back. Yeah, I think it said it was 2023. Am I blind? Oh, it's August 2022. Never mind. Never mind. I'm a liar. I'm a liar. That's so fucking funny, though. Why couldn't they have picked a better set? Or, like, a different card game? Because the thing with Yu-Gi-Oh, right, is that not a lot of cards hold value. Okay, so if you ever wondered why not a lot of card shops, at least not near me, I don't know if it's for you guys, don't hold, like, Yu-Gi-Oh singles very often, it's because a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh cards lose value very quickly. It's not like... So like Pokemon, where it steadily goes up for collector's market, there's no real collector's market for Yu-Gi-Oh compared to other card games. It's purely just mostly players, right? So once a card gets reprinted, they drop quickly. So no shop wants to hold Yu-Gi-Oh singles because they lose value so quickly. It'll basically lose all the money they paid buying the single off someone. The more you know. Does MTG retain value? I don't know. I'm not an MTG player. Yeah, so I'm surprised that they picked Yu-Gi-Oh of all things instead of something like Pokemon or like Magic that actually retains value. Like, pick a different card game. Why'd they have to use Yu-Gi-Oh? Yu-Gi-Oh's the worst one to do this for. They're just dumb. They're just so dumb. Why would they do that? Except Araneos. Araneos is a different situation. My shop has 2 cases each of full Pokemon in Magic, not for Yu-Gi-Oh. That's fair. If they were smart, they would have chosen Digimon. I don't think even Digimon retains value that much, right? Yeah, and the meta changes often in Yu-Gi-Oh, so it also makes it drop quickly. Digimon value? Lamau. Real. Yeah, Digimon doesn't retain much value either. So, like, I don't know. Yeah, they were gonna do, if they were smart about this, if they were smart drug dealers, they would have done, like, Pokemon or Magic. I don't know why the fuck they decided to use Yu-Gi-Oh. Oh, Chloe, thank you for the raid! Welcome, Raiders. Hi. I know about the card games. We're reacting to Yu-Gi-Oh content. How are you, gamer? Oh, yeah. When are we playing fighting games, bro? That's the real question. When are we playing fighting games? They could have done Buddy Fight. That doesn't fucking any value either. That game's dead. Value is cardboard. A lot of cardboard surprisingly has value. Probably use LEOV since it was a terrible set, since it was cheap to acquire in mass. But then that means all of it isn't worth anything. Laundering 2 million 1 penny at a time is crazy.
Buttload of Yu-Gi-Oh cards and attempting to sell them off, therefore turning a bunch of illegally acquired money into legally acquired money. But there was just one small problem with their plan. Nobody wanted the shitty product these guys had decided to try to sell. Now let me preface this by saying they probably did manage to sell a bunch of other products, but there was a very likely reason for why this particular pile of Yu-Gi-Oh cards still happened to be sitting here. You see, a large portion of the boxes the police had stumbled upon were boxes of Lightning Overdrive, a box that had been released over a year prior, meaning it's likely these guys have been holding on to them for a very long time.
They should have waited for Poe! They should have waited for Poe!
Time, which is understandable considering this product in particular was terrible for sellers. This product contained a bunch of powerful new cards that the community was very interested in on its release.
This is horrible.
The only problem was, Konami did a terrible job of splitting up the rarities. They placed most of the interesting chase cards at a lower rarity, with only a few exceptions such as maybe Diviner of the Herald or Drytron Fafnir being placed higher. This essentially meant that the return on investment for purchasing one of these boxes was awful. You might as well just spend a few bucks purchasing the singles than spending $130 or so for a box with no real resale value on any of the cards.
130? Oh, it's Australian dollars. I was like, huh? A Yu-Gi-Oh box is like 70. Yu-Gi-Oh boxes, from my experience, are cheaper than other card games. But it's Australian dollars. That makes more sense. Makes way more sense. Yes, Monopoly money. It's not real money.
Inside it. The only way you could make any money from this set was rolling exceptionally lucky and hitting a Starlight Rare, of which there was only 1 in every 2 boxes, and of the 5 Starlights, only 3 were worth anything. So unless you were willing to gamble on a 50-50, only to then still be disappointed 40% of the time, this product was to be avoided like the plague.
That's so fucking funny.
Let me just show you the funny shit people wrote on Reddit. I know, let's hide the drugs in LV. Nobody would ever think to open that. They only got caught because the cops noticed people were buying LV for the first time since its release. They could tell something was up because no human would ever have purchased that much LV.
That's so fucking
I
funny.
think you get the picture. So it's quite likely these guys weren't exactly well versed in the world of Yu-Gi-Oh! And had just wailed out on a product that absolutely nobody wanted to take off their hands, leading to that rather large pile the police had stumbled upon.
That's so fucking
In the end,
funny.
all 5 people caught were charged with various different crimes, including supplying a prohibited...
I thought they were hiding it in there. Yes, I thought it'd be too. I thought they would be like cracking open the packs to keep the like actual like empty pack itself and like take the cards out, put drugs in there, and then seal it. That's what I thought was gonna be happening. And they were like selling drugs, like quote unquote selling like booster boxes, but there was literally just the drugs in there, and that was their scheme. I didn't think it was gonna be like this. This is way worse. I didn't think it was gonna be like selling drugs and then selling really shitty Yu-Gi-Oh packs on the side. This is horrible. Imagine the cops in there opening packs trying to find the product. Unironically, they probably did do that. They probably did have to crack open a couple to be like, are there drugs in here? And it's just terrible Yu-Gi-Oh cards. They bought the terrible set there in Smart. I know, they probably bought it because it was cheap. Only to like not realize that it was cheap because it was terrible. The police auction must have went crazy. Bro, like, that's the thing. Isn't it police auctions? They like, the lower, they've lower the value of everything significantly. So like, I'm sure those boxes went for like $2 a piece. That's horrible. They discovered their stash of cardboard cracked. That's crazy. Yeah, it's a bid, but I highly doubt anyone would bid a lot on like really shitty Yu-Gi-Oh boxes. Especially because the people who go to those things I highly doubt they're into card games, let alone enough to know how shitty this set is. Probably went for a nickel. I would be surprised if someone bought it for like $20 total, like the entire thing, because they just don't know. Like no one knew. So you could get them for dirt and sell them for chase cards. I've actually heard of shops doing that, where they'll get like a case of a game, and like instead of just like selling boxes normally, they like crack open the case so they get the chase card because it's worth a lot of money, sell the chase card, and then sell the rest of the case to consumers. Which is kind of shitty, but I've heard of shops doing that in the past. They're used as door stoppers? That's crazy.
Drugs, dealing with property suspected of being proceeds of crime, attempting to prescribe restricted substances, possession of
insane.
stolen goods, participation in criminal groups, and various other charges. Now, lucky for us, the New South Wales Police Force have a Facebook page and were kind enough to share a few photos from the raid, including
No
pictures
fucking
of the
way.
money found, some blurred images of some of the suspects,
Okay.
and of course, a picture of some of the Yu-Gi-Oh cards too. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's little tale. I'll leave a link
That's insane. Wait.
to the article I sourced most of this info from, as well as a link to the Facebook post if you guys want to learn more, or maybe just see some of the images again for yourself.
This is
Now, as
insane.
per usual, I'm always on the lookout for more Yu-Gi-Oh related stories for this.
So if you have Yu-Gi-Oh related stories, you know where to put them at. But this is literally crazy. There's more drugs? What is this? The Blues be calling a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament over what is happening? By what? Hold on. These are crazy.
It was 2024. An ancient city was discovered in Ecuador. A banana stuck to a wall sold for $6 million.
I remember this.
Drake was no longer allowed within 100 meters of a playground.
That's
And the star of today's tale, Heartbeat Collide, was about to attend a local Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. Now, for a bit of context, this locals was quite a bit more sweaty than your standard events, with the vast majority of players typically being a bit more on the competitive side and sticking to decks proven to be strong and meta.
Of course, Ojama's my goat. Our tier 0. They're the best. They're so good. They can't be beat.
Relevant. So for this event, Hart wanted to bring something that, whilst not considered top tier, was still able to compete at that
Dinos?
level. Dino. In Yu-Gi-Oh!, Dino is an archetype that is known for two things. Child abuse, due to continuously beating up baby dinosaurs to gain card advantage.
Leave my
and
babies
one
alone.
completely absurd card that you're only allowed to play one copy of due to how busted it can be. Miscellaneosaurus. This card has a couple of effects, but the
Have you
only
read it,
one I
though?
want you to remember for this video
But have you Fuck them kids. No, leave the babies alone. For some reason, I thought Miss was at 2, but I think Miss was at 2 in Master Duel, right? It's a 3. Is it 3 in Master Duel? I don't know why I thought it was at 2. Was it ever at 2? Am I just crazy? It was at 2. Thank God. Okay. Okay, thank God. So I'm not insane. Awesome. Anyway.
As it's the most toxic part about the card is the first effect. During either player's turn, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard to make all dinosaur monsters you control completely unaffected by your opponent's effects. This not only applies to dinosaur monsters already on the field, but all dinosaur monsters you summon that turn, essentially meaning your opponent...
Well, hi, Leah. Thank you for the raid. Welcome, Raiders. Hi, I'm Nova. I play card games. Today we're watching crazy Yu-Gi-Oh stories. So many Raiders today. Oh my god. What a good stream. Thank you.
It typically cannot interact with a single thing you do. They can't negate your monster effects, they can't destroy your monsters, they can't really do much at all. All they can do is sit back and watch as you flood the field with a billion different dinosaurs.
Why is your name Lemon's armpit sweat? What the fuck? Huh? Why is it armpit sweat? That's so gross. Also, as someone who's met Limina, I don't think she's ever sweat in her entire life. Like, I refuse to believe she's ever sweat. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, Limina, like, she looks like a supermodel. So you just refuse to believe that she's ever farted or like sweat in her entire life. I don't know how to explain it. Oh, she has? Oh no, I refuse to believe that.
Dinosaur monsters whilst bullying a small child. The tournament began and Hart was off to a banger of a start, managing to beat a Kashtira, a Yugioh, and a Raid Raptor player, landing himself a spot in the semi-upper bracket final. I'm not gonna lie, I have no clue what it's called, but he's managed to make it here. Hart takes a seat at their assigned table and looked up to find himself being stared down by a very serious looking individual. This man was not here to play games. Well, he was, but you get what I mean. Both players roll a die to see who goes first, with Hart coming out the victor and choosing to go first. Game 1 begins, and Hart immediately begins his turn by activating his secret...
Wait, Misk has little arms? I've never known... Since when did he have those? Since when did Misk have baby-ass arms? What the fuck is that? And since when did Misk have a tail? What the fuck? He didn't know? Maybe I just don't look at Yu-Gi-Oh card art. Yeah, he's got little fingies. I never noticed. Well, thank you for the raid on Twitch. Welcome, readers. Hi. Look at the stream. Mix it a bunch of times. I know, I never noticed his little arms. I never noticed. I'm sorry, I'm blind.
Singular copy of Misk. This was met by an incredibly loud grunt coming from his opponent's side of the table, followed by an instant concede. This kind of caught Hart off guard.
I never noticed either. I put that picture there. Yeah, literally, I never noticed. He has little arms.
Hard, but a win's a win, I guess, so we move on to game 2.
We take those? Okay.
At this point, Hart had absolutely no clue what his opponent was playing, so in between games, he decided to side in a bunch of generically good going second stuff. kaijus, sphere mode, and lava golem.
My goat?
These are monsters that contribute your opponent's stuff in order to summon themselves to the opponent's side of the field in their place. His opponent starts his turn and began slamming cards onto the field. Turns out he was playing Unchained, and after spending a good 8 to 10 minutes-ish setting up his field, he passed the turn. Unfortunately for him, he'd made a grave mistake. He'd ended on 3 monsters. The
Highway of King Caesar, my fucking goat! That's my guy! That's my guy! Dude, Highway of King Caesar is my goat! That's my guy! That's my guy! He's gonna get banned in a National soon because he's too free and easy, but that's my guy! That's literally my goat.
perfect amount for Heart to simply tribute all of them in order to summon a worthless 0 attack egg to his opponent's side of the field.
Okay, but Sphere Mode's also my goat. Sphere Mode's also goated.
His opponent was clearly fuming as he roughly scooped up his stuff, mumbled something thankfully inaudible under his breath, before getting up and walking away. But this isn't the last we'll see of this guy. You see, this tournament has a lower bracket, so he dropped down here, which means we might just meet him again in the final. Hart took a seat at his assigned table before raising his head, to be met yet again by an incredibly serious looking face, only this time, it was quite a bit more grouchy looking. Hart won the dice roll and chose to go first, and after popping a few babies, he ended on a pretty formidable end field of dinos, and so he passed the turn. As soon as his opponent went to activate a card effect, Hart once again revealed that he'd drawn the singular copy of Misk by discarding it to the graveyard to make his field completely unaffected.
But does he know what it does?
So
Does
where
he know?
the fuck is my call by? Hart jumped back in his seat upon hearing the sudden outburst from his opponent. Called by the Grave is a spell card that can negate the effects of cards in the graveyard, and since Misk is sent to the graveyard to use its effect, it's a known counter to the card.
Okay.
Unfortunately, apparently his opponent hadn't drawn it, and so we move on to Game 2.
This is so unfortunate,
Which
bro.
wasn't very exciting as Hart just drew no board breakers against a full board, so we move on to Game 3. Once again, Hart began abusing small children. After a good few minutes of continuously destroying baby dinosaurs, he ended on an end field of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, Apollosa, and 2 Evozar Xyz monsters. This time, it was his opponent's turn to do the tributing. He began his turn by immediately tributing off both Evozar Xyz monsters, leaving a Lava Golem in their place. And with 2 threats now gone, he began attempting to combo off himself. A few negates later through Apollosa's effect, and his opponent had only managed to get a singular monster onto the field and 2 back row.
That's rough,
After beating
brother.
the Apollosa, he ended his turn. Hart drew a card for turn before activating the effect of UTC, popping a baby dinosaur in hand to flip all of his opponent's monsters into face-down defense position, while
ECT my goat.
simultaneously also triggering the effect of the baby in the graveyard to summon a dinosaur to the field. His opponent responded by flipping one of his set cards, Escape of the Unchained. This card allowed him to target one monster he controls, and the UTC's opponent controlled, and destroy them both. It was at this moment Hart reached into his hand and pulled out a card, before slowly placing a Mystiladiosaurus into the graveyard. UTC was now completely immune to the effects of the trap. His opponent appeared to have just frozen, just staring blankly.
Misk isn't real! Misk isn't real! Misk isn't real!
At the Misk in the graveyard without moving a muscle. A few seconds go by before he suddenly reached over and snatched the Misk from the grave.
What?
Alright, that's a bit rude. If he wanted to just read the card, he could have just, what's he doing? Hart watched his opponent reach into the card sleeve before yoinking it out. He then placed a corner of the card right
There's no fucking way. There's no way he ate it. He stole your bit. He literally stole my bit. If only he had ketchup, be better. It's the Pokemon player. Yeah, did you guys hear about that? It was a while, maybe like a year or two ago, where like a Pokemon player, like to get someone DQ'd, like ate someone's card and then called judge on them to deck check because their deck list was wrong. There's no way. There's no way.
Right in between his teeth.
What?
And clamped down hard. Before Hart could even say a word, his opponent ripped the card away from his face, leaving an entire corner of the card still firmly clamped between his teeth. He then proceeded to get up, spit the corner onto the ground, scoop up his stuff, and without saying a word to anyone, walked out the exit of the store as if nothing had happened, leaving Hart still sitting in his chair, completely stun-locked by what he just witnessed. He may have won the event, but now he only owned 3/4 of a Musculadiosaurus. And so that brings us to the end of today's tale. Thank you so much, Hart, for sharing your story.
Oh my god. I hope he got a free playmat out of this. I hope the guy also forgot his mat. He got a free playmat. I hope that happens to anyone. If something happens horrible to you at an event and they leave, I hope they leave their mat so you can steal it. Genuinely, I hope they steal it. He grabbed his stuff, man. Trauma equals flame pretty mad. This is horrible. Oh my god, this is horrible. That's insane. Oh my god. He thought it was Dino Nuggets is crazy. I've eaten Yu-Gi-Oh cards, but I've never taken someone else's Yu-Gi-Oh cards and eaten them. That's horrible. That's oh my god. Oh my god. Let's see. You've what? Yeah! There's a bunch of clips of me eating Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I've done this several times. I've even put ketchup on them. I've put jam on them. I've eaten foils, yeah. Which cards you eat? I've eaten multiple. I think the first one I did was Cyber Angel Ben 10. I think. Yeah, it's very well documented. This has been a thing for a long time. Do foils taste different? No, not really, but it's definitely harder to bite them because the foiling keeps it together. Oh yeah, I've eaten a Sky Striker Widow Anchor. Oh no, I've eaten real Yu-Gi-Oh cards before. This is a thing. Yeah, there's videos of it. There's so many of them. You're right. Now you eat Mist. I don't think I have a copy of Mist anywhere. Which card tasted better? They're all about the same, to be honest. Not any better. But in terms of condiments, I think with the jam was better. The jam was pretty yummy. Yeah. There was a time in the Discord that people like all ate Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and then they would tier list the cards. I forgot about that. We had a whole cult. Oh, yeah, people even buy cards that I eat. Yeah. You never had a hungry burger? Not the card, but I did actually, like, there was a stream where I made foods based on Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And I did make hungry burger. He'll buy cheat up. Yeah, he'll buy cheat up cards. Yeah. Like $100. That poor kitchen. My kitchen's fine. My kitchen's perfectly fine. I did. I had pudding. I forgot which one exactly, which card exactly it was, but yeah, I had a pudding one. I think there were like 3 meals, right? I made hungry burger. I made a pudding one, like a pudding. What was the other one? What was the? I can't remember. Pudding sass. That's what it was. Thank you. I forgot what the last one was. It was a 3-course meal. The burger actually wasn't half bad, though. You're right. I think I made onigiri for a sushi. You're right. I think I did. I did also do fake cooking streams. That's true. Let's do one more. Can do... We can do a cheating one here. Sure.
The year was 2024. Marvel finally decided to stop making garbage.
Okay.
DC decided to continue making garbage. Australia...
Okay, DC's gotten better. Apparently Superman's pretty good. I will give him at least this. They've improved. Anyway, back to me.
somehow managed to break dancing. And Yugioh was about to host its American World Championship qualifiers. Now, unlike the other stories I've told in this series so far, you might actually recognize our hero today, as he's actually a popular content creator and competitor at this year's World Championship.
No!
Mike Thomas, aka Trishula TTV.
No! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
And I thought, since Worlds is happening in less than a week, that it would be pretty cool to showcase a crazy tale from one of its competitors on his road to the World Championship, to build up some hype for him and the event before it begins. Also, a quick shout out to the Hardercast podcast, where I heard Mike himself originally tell this tale. It's a great podcast and I highly recommend...
What does TTV stand for? Twitch TV.
And checking it out. I'll leave a link to both that and Mike's Twitch channel in the description down below, so please go check them out. So this event was coming right off the back of Master Duel's WCQ, which is Yu-Gi-Oh's virtual version of the IRL game. And tragically, Mike placed 3rd in this event, missing out on qualifying by just one singular position, and less than 200 points the difference.
That's
It
rough.
was safe to say, he was feeling a little bit down. But there was still hope, as although Master Duel was no longer an option, there was still one final opportunity to qualify to Worlds, through the TCG itself, at the American WCQ. For this event, Mike was not messing around, and decided to bring the best deck of the format, Snake Eye. Now this is normally the point in the video where I give people who don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! A little bit of a rundown on what the deck does and what its gimmicks are, but in the case of Snake Eye...
Okay, I'm gonna be real. I've played the deck before, and I still fucking have no idea what this deck does. This deck does everything. You can literally tell me it washes my clothes for me and does my taxes, and I'd believe you. You can literally say it does anything, and I'd believe you. Like, I know it puts guys in back row, and that's about the extent of all I can tell you what this fucking deck does. Yeah, this deck can do your 401k for you. That's fucking crazy.
It's best described as a load of complete bullshit that does just about everything.
True!
So we're just gonna skip that part. Now, after having an incredibly successful tournament run, Mike managed to find himself in the top 8 of the event.
Sheesh.
So just as long as things continued to go smoothly, he was now only 2 series away from qualifying for Worlds. Well, let's just say, his top 8 match didn't exactly go according to plan. Both Mike and his opponent sat down at the table and prepared to begin their duel. There was just one small problem. You see, Konami had told them before the match this duel was going to be a written feature match, which basically means a guy would come over with a laptop and write down everything that happened during this duel to be posted in an online article.
Oh.
Now, these features are normally a little annoying for players, as it often causes pauses during the match whilst the writer catches up, but typically it was only a mild inconvenience. But this time was a little different. Mike looked around the table and noticed the writer hadn't actually arrived yet. 5 minutes pass. 10 minutes pass. 15 minutes pass.
Oh no.
20 minutes pass, and eventually the writer finally rocks up so they can begin the duel. And keep in mind, this meant that because the duel was now so late, they were going to hold up the entire rest of the tournament.
No.
Because I'm sure players playing the top 8 of a WCQ really need to have the added pressure of holding up the entire event. And the funniest part about this delay was the written feature match ended up getting completely scrapped anyway, because this duel turned out to be a bit of a disaster. So the match began, and both players drew their opening hand. Mike had won the coin toss and elected to go first. He looked down at his hand, and he was completely stoked. It was a nutty hand, with plenty of starters and ways to play through potential disruption. He began his turn by normal summoning Snake Eye Ash, which is the deck's main starter monster, but was immediately met with an effect failure from his opponent.
The trauma I
which just negates
feel.
its effect. No biggie, Mike's hand was completely cracked, so he knew he could easily play through this. So he went to cards in hand. Mike stopped and looked up to see his opponent was now staring directly at him. Did he just say, cards in hand? I've only played 1 card. Why on earth do we need to know how many? Ah, shit. Now, for you guys that don't know, Yu-Gi-Oh's starting hand size is 5. So you can imagine the surprise on Mike's face when he looked down at his hand and noticed 5 cards. Which would be great and all, only he'd just played a card.
No.
Yeah. Instant game loss. Now Mike, even to this day, still has no real idea what happened. Maybe 2 cards got stuck together, maybe a miscount. Whatever it was an accident, but it still resulted in an immediate game loss. Game 2. Now Game 2 was actually pretty boring, as Mike just sort of snake-eyed all over his opponent, tying up the score. So we're actually just going to skip this game and go straight to Game 3. The game begins, and this time his opponent went first. His opponent was playing Yugioh, which is considered by most to be the second best deck in the format, and unfortunately for Mike, his opening hand wasn't exactly the greatest for going second. He did manage to draw an effect Veiler, which prevented some of his opponent's plays, but still let his opponent build up a very significant end field of multiple disruptions, to which he then passed the turn. Mike drew for turn and hit Dark Ruler No More, which is a card that negates all of his opponent's monsters, but at the cost of not being able to damage them for the turn. He immediately activates the ruler and begins trying to set up a field. He special summons a Diabell, but is immediately hit with a Morna, which for those of you that don't know, is basically just another negate from hand, only this time if the negated monster leaves the field, the controller would also take a bunch of burn damage. Unfortunately, Mike's options were very limited, so without being given much of a choice, he had to just take the burn damage by activating Original Sinful Spoils, which removes his monster from the field, instantly taking 2500 damage, in order to summon out Snake Eye Ash from the deck. Ash allows him to search his deck for a card, but upon looking through his deck, he realised something. During siding between games, he'd actually taken out Temple, which is something he would normally never do, and that card was one of the vital pieces needed for the line of play he was about to try to go down. So, he had to come up with some sort of backup plan. He grabbed an Oak from his deck and then used his Snake Eye Ash on the field to link summon out a Relinquished Anima, pointing directly at his opponent's rage. Anima is a card that can suck up anything it's pointing to, so he's immediately forced out a response from his opponent, who upon the activation of Anima, chained a Shavara in hand to destroy his own rage and summon itself to the field. This also triggers the effect of Yama in his graveyard, which revived the doggo back to the field. Crucially, his opponent made a massive misplay, as Yama also has a bonus effect where upon its revive, it could also destroy a card on your own field, which he'd forgotten to do, leaving the Shavara on the field. This was a bit of an oopsie, considering Shavara locks the player into only summoning fiends whilst it is face up on the field. Keep that in mind.
Okay.
From here, there really wasn't a whole lot Mike thought he could
hide.
do, so he just normal summoned Oak, which could revive the Ash from the graveyard. But this was immediately met by his opponent's Rage's effect, which can use one of Mike's monsters for a link summon, to which he used the freshly revived Ash. Both cards went straight to the graveyard, and his opponent picked up his extra deck and began sifting through it to grab a monster to summon. But at this moment, the sifting began slowly coming to a halt, as his opponent's head turned towards his own field. With a completely dead expression, his opponent was now staring directly at his own fiend-locking Shavara that he'd forgotten to remove.
It's so
He
rough.
was forced to summon a fiend here, rather than what would have been a game-winning SP Little Knight. He reluctantly places a fiend monster on the field that does quite literally a whole lot of nothing.
Motherfucker might go
This meant Mike had
though.
a small glimmer of hope, as he was able to make a small resemblance of an Enfield before passing the turn. At this point, Mike was still pretty sure he was screwed, as he didn't really manage to set up that big of an Enfield. But something strange was happening. His opponent normal summoned a monster, and then just stopped for a while. Okay, bit weird, but Mike thought, it's top 8, maybe this guy just doesn't want to misplay or make a mistake, maybe he's just taking a while to plan out his turn. A few more moments go by and he's still just sitting there. At this point, people around the room are all just glaring at him confused. He finally picks up his extra deck and began sifting through it. Sort of. Mike looked over and noticed something. Cards in extra? To which his opponent responded, 3.
What?
Yeah, I think we've spotted the problem. As soon as his opponent said that, the judge of the match immediately started death glaring him. It was clear this man wasn't just thinking of a play, he basically had no play, as he was almost out of cards to summon. The
What?
death glare triggered his opponent to finally start playing the game, to which he summoned out an SP, banished a card, and that was about it. A single SP and a bunch of 0/0 monsters that don't do anything.
That's
He then
so
ends his
bad.
turn, and keep in mind, in Yu-Gi-Oh, all duels are on a time limit, and once the clock reaches 0, the player with the highest life points wins the duel. And due to his opponent's incredibly slow turn, there was only 7 minutes left on the clock, and Mike was down 2,500 life points. Mike had to play fast, and immediately started comboing off. He had enough cards remaining in hand to easily play through the one bit of disruption that SP offered and decimate his opponent's life points, so he begins comboing off. Can I see Graveyard? His opponent, now looking a little distraught, now began asking some interesting questions. Not sure why he'd need to see the Graveyard at this moment, but sure, go ahead.
Okay.
Can I get a translation of original Sinful Spoils? Mike slowly looked up from his comboing. Did this dude just seriously ask for a translation? At this point, the judge was giving him a mega death glare and responded, no. Trish then continued playing, but after every single card he played, his opponent would stop him to declare that he was thinking. Keep in mind, the only interaction he had was a single SP on the field and no cards in hand. It got to a point where Mike said, dude, just tell me when you're going to use it, I'm going to keep playing. And at that moment, the death-glaring judge had clearly had enough and issued a slow play warning. Turns out, this wasn't even his first slow play warning at the event, meaning it resulted in an instant game loss. Mike had won the match.
That sounds like the most disastrous Worlds qualifier game in history.
Oh my god, it was so stressful, it was so insane. And then I look up from like this game, and you know, like the production lights are all on us because they've like started streaming our game because it's taking forever.
Yeah.
And I look up, and like just Billy is standing there, and there's like the production lights behind him. He's like reaching out to shake my hand. It looked like the Mercy meme from Overwatch. Like when Billy breaks, it's like, congratulations. I'm like, oh my god, I finally got through this game.
This is what...
And that's going to mark the end of today's tale. From here, Mike went on to win a pretty looking trophy, as well as being granted a world spot for finishing runner-up at the qualifier. Thank you so much, Mike, for sharing your story online.
That's
and
crazy.
Please remember to support him in the upcoming World Championship this weekend, as well as go check out his content. Now, as per usual, if you too have a story or tale...
That's crazy. The Mercy meme got me, bro. The Mercy meme is so good. Oh my god. Okay, I think I'm gonna call stream here though. Thank you guys again for hanging out with me as per usual. Can I get a chance to a big welcome, please? Woo. When's Beat Trooper stream when we hit 100k? So be sure to subscribe. Who's the girl pointing? I think it's Bunny Girl Senpai. I think. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with me. But yeah, thank you, Loom, again for letting me watch your videos. I really appreciate it. They're fun. They're so fun. Yeah, thank you for hanging out with me. If you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe. We're trying to hit 100k. We're getting close. We're getting close. If you're on Twitch, I'll raid you guys out. And if you're on YouTube, you can sit there and be sad. Okay. Bye-bye. Ah.